let's start with this. Let's start with last night. About last night. Great movie.
Demi Moore, Rob Lowe.
Hey, Jim Belushi's coming out party, right?
Yeah.
Okay, from back in the day. So last night, on the set of NFL Network, NFL GameDay season preview show, me and Mooch and Kurt and Irv all back together. And as always, we give you on our season opener,
Look at that
our
picture.
preview program, we give you our choices of who's winning the divisions and who's winning the Super Bowl and who's winning MVP. So we don't have these conversations beforehand. We don't reveal to each other beforehand. It's kind of like you roll the dice in wearing a certain suit that day that you're not going to be wearing matching colors and you look like security as opposed to on-air compadres on a football program on NFL Network. So we all show up, the four of us, along with Rachel Bonetta and Cynthia Freeland, and give our Super Bowl predictions. And lo and behold, would you believe it? We circled the wagons. Every one of us chose the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 57 for those who don't do Roman numerals.
Look at her.
LVII.
Thank you.
And the difference was who the Bills beat. Michael Irvin had the Bills over the Cowboys. I was saying, does Devin Singletary know where his helmet is before that? The Rams were the choices of Kurt Warner and Rachel Bonetta to win the NFC and get vanquished by the Bills. Cynthia chose the Packers. She also chose Aaron Rodgers to win his third straight MVP as well.
That's not happening.
Steve Mariucci chose the Niners. He can't quit. He can't quit the Niners, even though they quit him years ago. And I can't quit Tom Brady. And I said, hey, Bills over the Bucks. And, you know, if I'm a Bills fan, of course I'd be concerned because we're all choosing the Bills and you're thinking, okay, you're putting the Ziggy on us. And I've got a few thoughts as to the reactions. I've heard from Bills fans saying you've jinxed us. And then there's many other counties, thankfully, that they're watching, including Bill Simmons, very popular Bill Simmons. Let's not even play the season. The Bills are clearly going 20-0 is the way that he retweeted the graphic that NFL GameDay put out there of all of our selections. And funny. Let me just say this. I almost chose the Rams to win Thursday night after choosing the Bills to win it all. So they're not going 20-0. They're going to lose. They could even lose Thursday night. I just feel that the Bills are the best team in the NFL. And I will never, ever go on a show anywhere, this one, NFL Network, and do anything just because it's quote-unquote safe or do anything just because quote-unquote everybody else is doing it.
Does that include picking on the Cowboys?
I will always shoot everyone straight here, okay? Everybody. I will never choose anything for clicks. I will never choose anything just because it's the safe choice. Sometimes you just have to keep it simple. And over the, 20 years now, this is my 20th season with NFL Network. We turn 19 this November. 19 years old. This is our 20th season. And over the years, who are the Super Bowl champions? If you had to ask about a through line, what is similar? What similarities do Super Bowl champions end up having?
Tom Brady.
That's a great point.
Bill Belichick.
Since he's been in 10 Super Bowls, 9 of them since NFL Network began. Our first 2 years was the back-to-back championships, the only one Brady's ever had. In fact, it's the last one the NFL's seen. It's the longest such drought in the history of the NFL, going this long without back-to-back Super Bowl winners. But yeah, Tom Brady is a through line, but you have to have a veteran hand who's done it, or a young quarterback who's been there and done that and doesn't know any better, and it's time to break through. And yeah, that includes Joe Flacco or Brad Johnson as a veteran hand. I mean, there's many different ways You need somebody who could be inspired for a contractual run, which Flacco was. I mean, this isn't all one size fits all, but you need a quarterback to either have been there and done that, a breakthrough season, or you need to have somebody who's generationally brilliant. It helps to have a game-changing quarterback. It also helps to have a good offensive line. It helps to have a good running game. But it also helps to have a terrific offensive attack that puts you on your heels. Also helps to have a coaching staff that knows the team and the roster. It helps to have a terrific defense. It helps to have a veteran hand or hands on that defense. It helps to have a good kicking game. It helps to have all of that. It helps to have a good general manager who adds players who are drafted. It helps to have a team that just got close and getting set to break through. Thus, they have maybe a chip on their shoulder. The Bills checked every last box that I just said. So, yeah, I guess I'm coming on the air and defending my choice. I'm also defending the choice of anybody who chooses the Bills. Of course, when there's a consensus pick, it should scare you because this league is the ultimate you never know. I sit 2 chairs down from Kurt Warner. The ultimate you never know. Brady, who you said, Chris, is the through line for all of these Super Bowl championship teams, he's also the you never know quarterback, obviously. Once upon a time, the GOAT had a large question mark around him.
Just when was the last time, though, when you look at this, like when
it's very rare.
The favorite,
I know.
the consensus, when was the last time they actually are the ones hosting the trophy?
Because the Patriots were a consensus pick, maybe the year that they wound up going undefeated, and they almost did go, 20-0 or 19-0, what have you. Yeah. And then you run into somebody at the last second, and the Bills can run into somebody and have a terrific game, but screw up the last 13 seconds, with all due respect. I guess I should have front-loaded that. But that's what happened last year, and that could happen to the Bills this year. And instead of us saying, hey, Bills Mafia, finally, you can celebrate, it'll be, wow, what a snake-bitten franchise this is. You know? The only franchise with a dynasty in which they didn't win a single time at the Super Bowl. The only franchise that has had, wide right and can't find your helmet and all of that. And 13 seconds and, man, what a plucky fan base they've got. Great fan base, just can't break through. That could be the storyline. And part of the reason why I chose the Bucs is not only because I don't want to ever pick against Tom Brady again, and even though I just did with the Bills, beating them, but I also think that over the 19 Super Bowls that I've covered, there's a wink and a nod from the football gods that always likes to put a couple teams together because the football gods are laughing at you. And who owned the Bills while he was in New England for all those years? Brady. And who could the Bills send into retirement with a loss a la North Carolina on Coach K? The Bills could do that to Brady, and I think that would be a huge hype of a week. Bills versus Brady. Again, can Brady win and go off into the sunset? Again, can the Bills finally get past the guy who owned them like Aaron Rodgers says he owns the Bears? That's the reason why I chose that. Plus, the Bucs are pretty damn good, despite their woes up front in the interior offensive line. I think Brady knows how to get rid of the football, and boy, does he have weapons if they're healthy to get the ball to. And he still has Gronk's number on speed dial, I bet. That's why I came out with my pick. I'm not sitting around thinking, you know what, I just got to do the safe thing because I don't want to be wrong. How many times am I wrong? Many times. I'll come here and raise my arm and say my bad, or I got it wrong. I'm never afraid of the freezing cold takes site. As a matter of fact, I've added that site saying, you don't scare me. I don't care. Put my tweet up there, at Rich Eisen. Spell my name right. Hit the follow button. I'll just always shoot you straight. But I understand why Bills fans are like, everybody thinks we're going to win. The pressure's on. But guess what? I don't think Josh Allen's going to feel it. I think he's that good.
Yeah, Rich, this weird thing that you don't think pressure exists ever.
Oh, it exists. It does exist, but it exists in moments. It exists in these moments. It exists on 3rd and long or 3rd and short, and you need it in that moment. And everybody boils it down to execution. And can you execute in that moment? Nobody's thinking, moment's too big, or we just lost 3 in a row. We need it now. I think they really think in that moment. And how can you handle it between Monday and kickoff Sunday after that previous loss Sunday when the media is talking to you? Well, you're in Western New York. You don't have a million coming at you. And you also don't have a million stations 24/7. And Josh Allen is like this. And a perfect example about pressure is always boiled down to execution. Great story from Cooper Kupp last week. Talking about that 4th down run. Super Bowl on the line, legacies, football lives on the line. You can't get more of a pressure-packed situation. And Sean McVay dials up a play that Cooper Kupp said he and Stafford screwed up so badly, and only the two times that they ran it in practice, McVay was saying, I'm pulling it from the playbook. And they're like, no, we can come up with a way to make this work. We're going to work on it. And McVay's like, fine. And nobody thought about it until that 4th down moment when McVay calls the play. And I asked Cooper Kupp, I'm like, so what'd you think? Did you think, or what's? And he's like, no. They look at each other, Stafford and Kupp saying, remember what we did in practice? Remember that thing? Let's do it. Okay, great. Boom. We'll run the play. Then a couple snaps later, I'll no-look you into the red zone by winging one across the middle. And then we'll win the Super Bowl. I'm sure Bengals fans are like, there's a couple of penalties on that drive. But I think that's my point.
Yeah, my point is just like when you're the consensus Super Bowl favorite in Vegas and your quarterback is the betting favorite for MVP, inevitably there's pressure on you.
I don't think they're going to...
And week to week.
To the point where they'll miss the playoffs?
I have no idea what's going to happen.
No, they're making the playoffs.
Dude, the year after 19-1, Brady gets hurt 6 minutes into the game and the season is over, basically.
That pressure comes home to roost in the middle of a divisional playoff game if they wind up on the road. I don't think they're going to wind up on the road. I think they're going to sit there, and you're going to sit there in Western New York and say, everybody come to us, everybody take your bus through the funeral, not the funeral, the fires, the tailgate pyres. You come in here. That's the way I see it. They should do it. And if they don't, maybe you can come here and say, Rich, you were wrong. They wilted under the pressure based on the fact that all 6 of you on game day morning picked them.
Oh, you're not. You guys aren't going to be alone. I imagine every show is going to have a majority of the Bills picked as the Super Bowl champs.
Who do you think's going to win it? Hold on to it.
Find out tomorrow.
Oh, really? You can do it tomorrow?
Sure.
Okay.
I have no idea, actually. I mean, it's wide open.
We're going to ask every single guest that we have here.
And also, you're just looking to see who's going to be the next Bengals. Like, that was literally out of nowhere. They were 150-1 to win going into the season. So, who knows? Great analysis.
But that team had a quarterback ascending.
They had a quarterback coming off a knee injury.
And they had a guy with a chip on his shoulder who knows how to win, and a young team. And a young team that was filled with momentum. So, yeah, it's not cookie cutter. But I'm just looking at the way you can build a roster to win a championship, the way that you build over the years to your championship season, the way that you can play football in week and then have the ability to focus on what's most important out of week. That's the Bills for me in 2022.